Just hours before she died, Shelley Winters made one final decision. She got married in a hospital room with no guests, no ceremony, and no fanfare, because that was exactly who she was, a woman who lived entirely on her own terms, right up until the very last moment. And if you think you already know her story, you have barely scratched the surface. She was born Shirley Shrift in 1920 in St. Louis, Missouri, the daughter of a tailor and a woman who had once sung on stage, and she grew up in the working-class immigrant neighborhoods of New York, where stability was never something her family could take for granted. When her father was convicted of insurance fraud and sent to prison, the familiar sense of safety in her childhood disappeared overnight, and the girl who remained behind understood from that moment that she would have to build her own life entirely from scratch. She worked at department store counters, modeled, performed in vaudeville, and auditioned for anything that would keep her close to the stage, including the nationwide search for an actress to play Scarlett O'Hara in Gone with the Wind, which she did not win, but which pointed her towards serious training. She studied at the Actors Studio in New York alongside a generation of performers who were redefining what screen acting could look like, and that rigorous, emotionally honest approach to character would eventually become her greatest strength. Hollywood initially packaged her as a blonde bombshell, cycling her through supporting roles that barely scratched the surface of what she was capable of delivering. She continued building one of the most fearless careers in Hollywood history, winning her first Oscar for The Diary of Anne Frank in 1960 for playing a woman whose anxiety and imperfection made her feel devastatingly real, and then winning a second Oscar in 1966 for A Patch of Blue, where she portrayed a bitter and hardened mother worn down by poverty and disappointment. Between those two awards, she appeared in westerns, film noirs, psychological dramas, and disaster films, always choosing characters that were complicated, flawed, and deeply human rather than comfortable or easy to admire. Her personal life moved with the same restless energy, passing through 3 marriages that each began with hope and ended under the pressure of 2 careers pulling in different directions. And through it all, her daughter Victoria remained the one constant, steady relationship in a life otherwise defined by motion and change. If Shelley Winters' extraordinary story surprised you, hit like, subscribe to the channel, and share this with someone who loves the real history of Hollywood.